All right, team, what's up? Happy Thursday. Welcome to the PT on Ice Daily Show. I am Dr. Jeff Moore, currently serving as a CEO of ICE, and always thrilled to be here on a Leadership Thursday, which, as always, is a gut check Thursday. So, first things first, what is the workout over the next couple of days? It is the following: 3 rounds for time, 15 clean and jerks. And that's going to be at the generous weight. Thank you, Alan, for this reasonable programming of 125.85. You would have expected that to show up at 135.95, but this is really going to help, I think, be able to keep that heart rate up the whole time. And then 30 cals on the bike, 3 rounds for time. Okay, so 15 clean and jerks, and then 30 cals on the bike, repeating that 3 times in a row with no rest between rounds. So that should be that should be uncomfortable. In your heart rate should be peaked the whole time, trying to think in my head of how that's going to go. So make sure you get gut check in. Make sure you tag us, hashtag Ice Trained, tag Ice Physio. Every time we see those videos rolling in, it's more inspiration for us to keep being about it with you all. So get that done over the next couple of days. As far as courses coming up, I want to highlight Professional Bike Fit. So as you all know, our Professional Bike Fit course is one of the ones done with the least frequency. Jason's schedule is crazy, but he does offer it a handful of times a year. 2 of those are coming up in May. So if you want to learn how to do professional bike fits, both road and mountain bike in the same weekend, so you can offer that service to your clients and your community, get after one of these. So on May 6th, it's going to be in Chicago. And then on May 20th, it's going to be in Bellingham, Washington. So I've already seen those lists. They look pretty full. So if you want to jump in, I bet Chicago's got room for 5 or 6 more, and probably the same for Bellingham. So if you want to get that professional bike fit certification and begin offering bike fits at your clinic, get on one of those 2 options next month. All right. Welcome to Leadership Thursday. We're going to chat about pipeline over product. So we're going to open up with kind of a meditation on the fact of what is your company? What is a company? If you think about what a company is, you're going to wind up at the conclusion that it depends on vantage point, right? But from a customer's vantage point, which I think is the one we care about the most, it's essentially the experiences they've had engaging with the people who are delivering your product, right? That is the most direct relationship they have with your company, is that experience. Now, the more you scale, should you scale, the more you scale, the less likely that that's going to be you, that you're actually going to be the person who's delivering that product. Thus, the company is, at least from a customer's point of view, whatever other people that you've hired deliver. So saying that you want to build a great company is essentially synonymous with saying you want to hire and support great people. If anything underscores the importance of hiring, it's that. It's that honest reality that from your customer's point of view, what your company is what other people you've hired, identified, and trained deliver. We do not talk about this enough. I'm not going to belabor the point this morning. But if anything underscores the unbelievable importance, we should be absolutely obsessing about the hiring process and about creating people to be in the hiring process. More on that down below. But your company is what those people deliver. So those people are everything. Now, some folks will say, hold on there, Jeff, I'm still going to control the product. And boy, I hope not. I hope not. If you've never heard that wonderful, meaningful quote for anybody scaling anything, it is as follows: nothing is worse for a company's quality than when people in power have none of the knowledge and people with knowledge have none of the power. And that's what happens when the people who are on the front lines actually doing the thing, right, don't have power to alter that product. They're the ones who know. They are in the trenches. They are in it. They are living and breathing. They're engaging directly with the customer. People who have that intimate knowledge need to have power to alter the product. But what you see so often is that people who no longer are in that position, which it's inevitable that as things scale, you will not be the primary person in that position, want to hang on to the power to alter the product. And you have to let that go. I can tell you, I don't offer ICE's product anymore. On weekends, I'm not out there actually offering the product. The reason it's markedly better now than it was when I was offering the product is we've been fortunate to identify some unbelievable people who have taken some good things we did and built on it and made it more modern and made it more contemporary and reinfused it with energy. Team, staying cutting edge is not a marathon, it's a relay race. You have to pass that baton. That's how you reinvigorate. It's how you keep up with the modern paradigm. It's not one person running a long ways. It's a bunch of incredible people who have been selected out of many to pass the baton to move it to a spot where you never even envisioned it could be. Staying cutting edge is not a marathon, it's a relay race. That could be an episode on its own, but you got to embody that. So that being said, and underscoring the importance of hiring, because ultimately those people are, certainly from your customer's perspective, your company, this idea that you're only going to fatigue trying to run the marathon, it's a relay race, getting this under wraps, how does it feel? And thinking about it that way. Because part one this morning is really you reflecting on, do you like this idea? And I think that how that feels in your gut should really determine if scaling is for you. There is nothing wrong with wanting to be the company and be the face of the company and stay the person who's actually offering the product. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But if that's what you want, don't hire a bunch of people into that system who then don't get any control or power, even though they have the knowledge. And now you wind up in that dilemma where you're trying to micromanage and hang on to control of the product because you like being in that spot. But the people who really should be altering it can't. Don't put people in that position. So if it doesn't feel good to you to pass that baton, don't. Just don't bring other folks into that system. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be the person in that spot. Just be careful on how much you scale, knowing thyself. There are advantages to scaling, right? The one that I am constantly obsessed with is impact factor, right? I really want physical therapy, the brand of it, to change. I want it to become fitness forward. I want the average consumer's experience who goes to physical therapy to be one where they receive care from someone who's being about it, who believes they can change their life, not just their pain. I actually want the brand of the profession to go in that direction. That can't happen with a couple classes. That can't happen with a couple clinics. That has to happen at scale where the average experience now gets nudged towards that because of the size of the impact. That matters to me. So I'm always willing to choose that, but that doesn't matter for you, right? You've got to decide, what do you want the end game to look and feel like? What matters? Be honest when you reflect on that. If you're going to scale, it's the people you hire that are going to be the company, not you. Are you comfortable with it? Just give that some thought this morning. I think on a Leadership Thursday, there's few things that I could give to you more valuable than that moment of reflection so that you can fine tune your planning. Okay, so number two, if you do decide that, no, I want to scale. I'm willing to pass that baton. I get the fact that it should be a relay race. I'm excited to watch those people run faster than I ever did. Okay, good. If we're there, not necessarily good. Either way is fine. But if we're going that direction, what you need to embrace next is that the pipeline is as important as the product from a 30,000 foot view, but for you, it's way more important than the product. If your company's going to remain great, your size will be ultimately limited by the pipeline of great people. If we've now identified that it is the great people that are the company that are engaging with the consumer, how much you're going to be able to grow while remaining great is going to be dictated entirely by the pipeline of great people coming up you have to choose from that want to get involved in the organization. Most companies, if you look at why most big companies are mediocre, most companies insufficiently develop that pipeline and they're ultimately willing to sacrifice greatness for growth. If you just zoom all the way out and you look at why most big companies are mediocre at best, it's because they didn't early on enough shift their focus to manufacturing the pipeline, and they now have a lack of great people to fill the positions to satisfy their growth, and they choose growth over greatness, and the result is mediocrity. This is generally speaking how most large companies, what their trajectory looks like. The trick to scaling well, and this is what I want to leave you with here on this Leadership Thursday. The trick to scaling well is to very early identify a few key people who you sincerely believe will make the product better. They will take whatever you've done and they will make it better. Then let go of controlling the product. Trust these people. They have the knowledge. They should also have the power. Let them change the product. Encourage them to change the product. Build systems behind them to magnify that, but let them, with their intimate knowledge of how things are evolving, tweak, change, modify, better that product. While they are doing it, and because you let go of it, you have bandwidth for it, obsess about the pipeline. Earlier than you ever thought you should. Where are you going to get your next people? Do they know about you? How are you going to get them to know about you? How are you going to identify of them which ones are perfect fits for your brand, your company, your mission, your vision? How? Begin to obsess about it, because that's going to be your role. It's not going to be on the front lines. It's going to be in getting the next people that those great people you've chosen to tweak the product can now bring under their umbrella and work on the baton pass on the next evolution. Team, the pipeline for the leader is more important than the product, because the product is improving in the hands of those you trust. Give this some thought. If you're choosing scale, you need to obsess about the pipeline over the product. And I hope some of these steps help to kind of reframe your mind to get you not only willing to be there, but eager to be there. It's what most companies don't do. Don't be most companies. Cheers, team. Have a wonderful Thursday.